Hi everyone, my name is Kaya Johnson. I am currently starting my junior year here at St. Cloud State. Please excuse my hair. It is incredibly hot in the dorms, so I am dying a little bit here. But anyways, I would like to start off with a little bit about myself. I tend to really like to, when I'm in group settings, have a deep conversation about things, kind of dissect what we're reading, and kind of just open up the conversation so that everybody has kind of a place to express how they feel about the text or whatever we're reading that week. So that's kind of how I work. I tend to like to do that. If possible, I would love to set up some times in a group where we can meet on Zoom. That way we wouldn't have to discuss so much just through our posts, but we could also talk about just the book itself if we would like to, if that is allowed. But let's get into the videos that we watched. I'm going to be referring to my computer just so I can keep myself on track. I'm going to start with the first one, the Sex, Gender, Desire Matrix. So that one I thought was very interesting. I am, just a little bit about myself, I am a queer woman. So I tend to have a lot of these conversations with friends in daily life about sex and gender and our sexualities and how that kind of goes against the norm of what a lot of heteronormative places kind of speak about. They talk about, and also the performity in creating gender trouble, they talk a lot about how in a heteronormative or heterosexual experience, we tend to follow the roles that society pushes on our relationships. What I mean by that is kind of, I'm sorry, I'm trying to formulate thoughts. That you kind of act in the way that is normative to your gender. A lot of people get sex and gender messed up. Both are on, there is, both ends of the spectrum, female and male, but there is a lot of what I like to call gray area. And that's where gender kind of is less of a binary now with our generation. Because we've kind of thrown away that traditional men are supposed to be the breadwinners. Men are supposed to be strong, not cry. Women are supposed to be meek, things like that. When that really isn't prevalent, it's there, but it's not prevalent in some spaces. But they kind of talk about throwing away your gender and not performing your gender in those stereotypical ways. And they kind of talk about that sort of stuff in both of those, about how if we throw away that, we kind of make our own gender. And that's just kind of how, because gender wouldn't exist if it wasn't a social construct. It's kind of what we made a social construct of. And when we discard that, we kind of get that individuality in a sense. And that leads me into the intersectional feminism. Intersectional feminism is something that I've talked about in daily life with my parents, with my friends. And it's kind of taking that lens, that one lens off of looking at systematic things and kind of looking at different lenses. Like it says here, there is no gay experience or women's experience. Because it's not just one thing you look through. Intersectionality is kind of looking through every lens and kind of seeing how each person individually forms their ideas about their surroundings or just their ideas about the world in everybody's unique way. And that is why it is so important to have intersectional feminism and intersectionality when looking at issues like this, because it gives us a more in-depth understanding of how our experiences are not the same as others' experiences. We aren't all going to experience life the same. And that kind of, we can look through like different systemic changes we need to make by looking at intersectionality and reframing the way that all of us kind of look at life. But that is pretty much, because I gotta keep under 5-ish minutes. But I look forward to meeting everyone. I cannot wait for the discussions we're about to have, and I hope to see you, some of you soon in my group. Thank you.